Greetings, I'm a dragon alchemist, and allow me to entertain you. I'm once again playing Fallout 4, where, among some of our newest residents in Sanctuary Hills, I have finally gotten around to doing a little bit of building. This will be my bastion complex, essentially. First floor will be dedicated to shops and other varieties of necessities to the continual functioning of my settlement. Second floor, dedicated to the defense of my settlement. Essentially a little structure that will overlook critical areas of my settlement and provide downpouring firepower. Third floor, I've yet to decide what to do with it. Maybe I'll convert it to essentially my barracks, my personal house. I don't know yet. But I'll get to that later. For now, I have pretty much expended a lot of my resources just building this monstrosity. And even then, it's not as big as I wanted to, but size constraints and all, along with material constraints. I'm down to 200 of both steel and wood. So I must get more resources if I intend to build any bigger.
Vault Tech, just to make sure everyone filled out their forms. I was supposed to win a pack of steak knives.
Well, I got a job for you, Mr. Vault Tech Rep. What is your name?
Hey, now that you're back here in Sanctuary, how would you like a job?
A job? For me? Really?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think your sales experience can be a great asset.
I don't know why you'd go anywhere else, so you're staying in Sanctuary Hills.
You do? Well, that's great. I won't let you down.
I am kind of wondering about my logic about this, since this is kind of the area where he got ghoulified, so that might cause a bit of mental scarring if he stays here. But at the same time, this place is where he can rebuild. He may just find that he likes it here. This place is where he will get his life back. That said, I have no idea which way it'll
Seems
go.
to be growing well.
So, cross our fingers, hope for the best. Hope that he likes staying here. Now, my next objective, aside from harvesting all these plants, because, what do you know, I need adhesive again. I did a lot of upgrades to my weapons. For instance, while no changes have been done to the assault rifle, I have now upgraded the enraging sniper rifle. This thing, on a critical hit, will enrage a target. That means just by sniping at a specific target from far enough away, and that target is particularly hardy, it's going to do a lot of damage to the lower level enemies in that region. I just have to be careful not to snipe him in the head when I do the critical and kill the target outright, because that rather defeats the purpose. Oh yes, that reminds me, I do have to deal with the items in my inventory that I wish to sell. So once all this is expended,
Yeah?
Lara, or Carla.
Carla.
You again. Here to trade?
Trade indeed.
Sure. Let's take a look.
I got a little bit of everything.
Fair enough. The 10mm pistol could go. I can really get rid of a lot of Molotovs. Pipe auto pistol, yeah, that can go. And the drugs. Don't need nearly that many drugs. And since I don't use them at all, I don't even know why I keep them in my inventory. But just in case, you never know if someone else might need it for a specific purpose. So that should be... yeah, that's good. Now, on to the main objective of today. Talking to Paladin Dance. Because the Brotherhood of Steel has arrived, and I'm going to be talking to them with Nick Valentine in tow. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. wonder if this is going to be a good idea, and the answer is a resounding no, but let's try it anyways because it will be entertaining. And I hear gunfire already. Charming. We'll let the Brotherhood deal with that, if it gets close. Now, while I have my reservations about the Brotherhood, I am hoping that they can explain themselves.
Cavalry's arrived, and it looks like they sent in the big guns.
Yeah, did you call for them? Yeah, it's not exactly subtle, but questions abound.
Why did the Brotherhood send it here?
We call our ship the Prydwen. She's loaded with enough troops and supplies to mount a major offensive. If she's here, Elder Maxon's here. And that means we're going to war.
Yeah, Elder Maxon. Maxon is a kid you can encounter in Fallout 3. That's interesting. And since we barely have any information about him, both my character and myself, we need to know a little more. These three other things...
I can't tell if you're bored or just ignoring me.
No, I'm thinking. So, yeah. What about diplomacy, and what about provoking a war just by being here? But information first.
Who's Elder Maxon?
Maxon? Man's a lunatic.
Maxon is the
Nick
commander
provides
of
his
this division
opinion.
of the Brotherhood of Steel. He's the model of what every Brotherhood soldier hopes to become. If we're going to war, I can promise you that he'll be leading the charge. That being said, you're about to get to know the Prydwen up close and personal. I've received orders that we're both to report to her immediately. Follow me up to the roof of the police station. We're going for a little ride.
Yes, before we do that, just a little something I need to pick up. Now this is going to be a little nasty. Blast. One moment. Trying again. There we go. I'm only taking a magazine. Guns and bullets.
I need to reinforce this compound.
This magazine location is nasty. Why didn't they leave it on the table like the other magazines? This is the only magazine in the game that I am aware of where you have to potentially give it a pass because you don't know exactly where it is.
We're here to save the Commonwealth.
So yeah, just a bit of foreknowledge on my part. Now, as for the Prydwen and Elder Maxon and the Brotherhood. Oh boy.
You think the Commonwealth looks bad? You should see the capital wasteland.
Well, are you helping to rebuild it, or are you around here wrecking stuff? That's the question. Because what is the use of all this technology and safeguarding it if you're not going to do anything to rebuild civilization? Now, I can understand keeping technology away from people who would mean to use ill will. But if you keep it out of everyone's hands so that they can't advance, that's not going to work. Technology and information is going to get out.
Loaded and ready to fire. If you spot anything hostile during the flight, I suggest you put it to good use. Make sure you properly identify your targets before you start shooting. We don't want to have any mishaps and fire on the locals.
Yeah, I'm already hearing bullets coming my way, and I can't see muzzle flashes. Yeah, someone's not liking us in the air.
Up here, doesn't it? It never ceases to amaze me how drastically your perception of the battlefield changes from the air. We're gonna need that edge when we take on the Institute. They've already proven that they're technologically superior, which means there's no telling what types of weapons they'll have in their arsenal. Hopefully, our air superiority and tactical know-how will make the difference. Now all we have to do is find them. And I'm betting that Elder Maxon will have a plan already in place by the time we arrive.
As you may have noticed from my effective fire, this minigun's packing a bit more of a punch than it normally can. That's mainly because I installed a mod that increases the durability and firepower of the vertebrae.
The Brotherhood of Steel is the Commonwealth's last hope for survival. Every man, woman, and child below is in mortal
Watch the
danger
frame drop.
if we fail. It's only a matter of time before the enemy overwhelms the population. gladly spill my own blood if it ensures our victory.
Now, on Dance's dialogue, when you see yourselves as the one and only chance
The
to
Prydwen
do
should be
good,
coming into view just ahead. We'll be meeting Lancer Captain Kells on the flight deck. Just stick close to me and answer all of his questions.
that raises all sorts of moral questions. If they're not part of you, then what are they? On the dynamic of good and evil, you can't keep doing that, because if everything else is evil and all you can do is good, at what point do you recognize that what you're doing is not helping? There's a difference between knowing what you're doing is good and what you're doing is actually benefiting what you're preaching. Because what you're preaching does not necessarily mean it's a good thing. Philosophical debates. And unfortunately for me, the Brotherhood doesn't seem to be the sort that likes to get into debates.
All right, soldier.
They like to get into
This
shootouts.
is the moment when everything changes. I hope you're ready.
Now, other than that though, if their target is the Institute, which has been repeatedly showing that they are causing trouble, they have started replacing people, they have, well, made a lot of enemies. And, well, that just means that the Brotherhood does have a point in their regard that the Institute needs to be stopped. The question is,
How we doing on the hunt for
how
Eddie's
far are they
souls?
going to go to do that? And who else is going to get in the firing line because of that? Alright, how'd I go? Oh, watch it, watch it! Does the Brotherhood of Steel have phasing technology? I suppose that answers that question, doesn't it?
Permission to come aboard, sir?
Permission granted. Welcome back. Allow me to be the first to congratulate you on a successful mission. And is this our new recruit?
Yes, sir. I feel promoted him to initiate, and I'd like to sponsor his entry into our rankings personally.
Yes, we've read your reports. You'll be pleased to know that Elder Maxon's approved your request. Place the recruit in your charge.
Thank you, sir. And my current orders?
You are to remain on the Prydwen and await further instructions.
Very good, sir. Ad Victoriam, Captain.
Ad Victoriam, Paladin.
And here I am in the center of the
So,
Brotherhood of Steel's
You're the
command
one Paladin
structure
Danse is
with a
taking under his
synth.
wing.
This is going to be
You
very
don't
odd.
look much like a soldier to me.
Yeah, I am kind of wearing some Vault Tech stuff, aren't I? The Vault suit does not help the look.
Looks can be deceiving.
Which is precisely why I personally insist on scrutinizing every recruit who boards this vessel. I've read Paladin Dance's reports. He seems to think you'll make a fine addition to the Brotherhood. You might expect an endorsement like that to grant you a great deal of latitude with us. But let me make one thing clear. The Brotherhood of Steel has traveled to the Commonwealth with a specific goal in mind. As the captain of this vessel, I won't allow anyone to jeopardize our mission, no matter how valuable they think they are. Understood?
That depends on what the mission is. If it is specifically and only targeting the Institute, then we will have no issues. If you start putting other people into your crosshairs because they are inconvenient, then we'll have issues. So, let's ask about the mission first.
What exactly is your mission here?
I'm not at liberty to say. Elder Maxon will be addressing the crew shortly, and I'm certain all of your questions will be answered. Now, was there anything else, or was everything I said understood?
Let's press the dialogue option and hope my charisma is high enough.
Not even a hint? Come on. I deserve it.
Look, all I can tell you is that we're here directly in response to the data that Dance's recon team provided us. Beyond that, you'll just have to wait until Elder Maxon addresses the crew. Now dispense with the questions. It's time to get to work. Understood? That's all for now, soldier. Your orders are to proceed to the command deck for the address. After which, Elder Maxon wishes to have a word with you. If you have any questions, ask me now. Otherwise, you're dismissed.
Let's ask more about Elder Maxon then. Let's see what we can get.
Can you tell me anything about Elder Maxon?
Elder Maxon is the supreme commander of the Brotherhood. Without his tenacity and his vision, we'd still be a small group of complacent stragglers, occupying the Citadel in the capital wasteland. In a mere decade, he's grown the Brotherhood of Steel into a major military force. He's an inspiration to us all. Is there anything else?
Yeah, now, major military force. What use is it if it's not helping people? What is the purpose of a military that does not have any connections to anything else except its own ideals?
You're
That's
wasting our time,
not
soldier.
comforting. But let's ask about the power armor since it's available.
Where can I get power armor?
Only knights are allowed to wear Brotherhood power armor. And you're no knight. Not yet. Until Elder Maxon grants you that title, you'll have to make do with what you've got. Anything else?
Yeah, so if I had arrived in my own power armor, that might have been a bit, awkward. I know what my orders are, report to Matson, so no other questions.
I don't have any questions.
Then I suggest you head over to the command deck immediately. Dismissed, Initiate.
No machine should have free will. Why? You jealous you had to turn yours in?
Ah, Nick. Might be a mistake to bring you aboard, but it is going to be a hilarious mistake.
Welcome aboard. Elder Maxon is holding his address inside the command deck.
Here we go. Let's see if Maxon freaks out once he sees a synth on board.
Brothers and sisters, the road behind has been long and fraught with difficulty. Each and every one of you has surpassed my expectations by rapidly facilitating our arrival in the Commonwealth. You have accomplished this amazing feat without a hint of purpose or direction. And most impressively, without question.
Yeah,
Now
that's
that the
not
ship is
going
in
to do
position,
well with me.
It is time to reveal our purpose and our mission. Beneath the Commonwealth, there is a cancer, known as the Institute. A malignant growth that needs to be cut before it infects the surface. They are experimenting with dangerous technologies that could prove to be the world's undoing for the second time in recent history. The Institute scientists have created a weapon that transcends the destructive nature of the atom bomb. They call their creation the Synth. A robotic abomination of technology that is free-thinking and masquerades as a human being. This notion that a machine could be granted free will is not only offensive, but horribly dangerous. And like the atom, if it isn't harnessed properly, it has the potential of rendering us extinct as a species. I am not prepared to allow the Institute to continue this line of experimentation. Therefore, the Institute and their synths are considered enemies of the Brotherhood of Steel, and should be dealt with swiftly and mercilessly. This campaign will be costly.
Yeah, stay out of sight, Nick.
And many lives will be lost. But in the end, we will be saving humankind from its worst enemy. Itself. Ad Victoriam!
Ad Victoriam!
Ad Victoriam!
So yeah, nice rousing speech, but I've got only one word in response to you, Maxon.
Worst. They hide in plain sight.
Geth. Anyone who has played the Mass Effect series will know what I mean. Geth and intelligence. Now, the whole moral prospect of creating intelligence, that's a debate I do not wish to wade into. But the time for debate has passed for that issue. The intelligence is already here. It is there. And the intelligence is very intelligent. It has wisdom. It can understand the situation. It is not automatically hostile. It may be different from human life. But when does human life trump other life? Where does the line stop? And I'm hoping this line of logic has some sway with the Brotherhood. If not, they and I are going to have problems.
I care about them, you know. The people of the Commonwealth.
Do you? So, yeah. You're preparing for war. Are you ready to put them in the crossfire?
care about them? I thought we were preparing for war.
The Brotherhood is here to prevent a war by starting one of our own.
Oh, bloody
The difference
hell.
is, our war won't reduce civilization to ashes.
Have you ever heard of the term insane troll logic? That's one of them. Then again, the Institute isn't exactly helping matters. So, what do you want to do? That's the main question.
What do you want from me?
I want you to start
Not
taking
exactly what I was
responsibility
intending to
for this
ask.
planet. To start making a difference. And from what I've read in Paladin Dance's reports, you've already begun that journey. Seeing as he's one of my most respected field officers, you couldn't get a better recommendation. Therefore, from this moment forward, I'm granting you the rank of Knight. And, befitting your title, we're granting you a suit of power armor to protect you on the field of battle. Wear it with pride.
Well, that works out. I did arrive without my spiffy power armor, but the Brotherhood's power armor may be better. So, tempting to be sarcastic, but... And I'm not really the guy that goes into rank and file, but you did just give me the power armor, and I am
Something
suitably
amiss, Initiate?
grateful. I thought I was the knight now.
I'll do my best to live up to it.
I'm certain that you will. In any event, once you're finished becoming familiar with the Prydwen and my staff, report to the flight deck for your new orders. Welcome aboard the Prydwen, soldier. Make us proud.
So, any comments about this, Nick?
Balunet Alpha at 93%. Compensating.
No? Okay. Let's move on to the main deck. So, I still have my hesitations regarding
Across the board, sir.
the
Nothing new.
Brotherhood.
Good. Carry on.
We'll just have to see how things go on from here. Well, they haven't started shooting Nick on sight. That's encouraging.
Congratulations on the promotion.
You just met me. How do you even know it? You know what? Never mind. Let's just get this over with. Kitty. Yay, Kitty.
So how did it look out there?
We've got a lot of work ahead of us, brother.
Wow, you move fast. Welcome. Man, you've changed. Let's hit this.
Paladin Brandis? You've really changed.
I clean up well enough. It'll be a while before I get back to my old routine, though. Listen, I didn't have a chance to thank you properly before. I'm not sure I still have a place here. I've been away for too long. Maybe I'm not cut out for the Brotherhood anymore. But I'll give it time. I owe it to you and to my team. Thank you for giving me another chance.
Better than wasting away in a bunker, at least. Right, Dance? What do you got for me?
Dance?
There you are. How did it go with Elder Maxon?
It went rather well. I don't know about delusional. I'm not impressed by him, so let's go with the diplomatic option.
He's a very dedicated man. It sounds like he stands behind everything he's saying.
Of course he does. How could he afford not to? I just hope you appreciate how much of a chance I'm taking bringing you into the fold this quickly. Not to put too fine a point on it, but if you screw up, we go down together.
Okay, lay on the guilt trip in case I decide to back out of the Brotherhood. But as long as the Brotherhood doesn't do anything very morally compromising, we won't have an issue. So I'll be careful.
Don't worry. I'll be careful.
Good. Because we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and I don't want anything slowing us down. Now, I know you're eager to hop into a suit of power armor and take the fight to the Institute. But first things first. In order to be an effective part of the team, you need to learn your way around this ship and get to know its crew. Since I've been officially assigned to you as your sponsor, I'd recommend taking me along with you.
Well, I was intending to pass out Nick for a moment, because his quest of finding the holotapes is going to take a long time, and I may as well build up my relationship with Dance in the meantime. So, coming along now?
Do you need to come with me now?
It might help if I tagged along with you. On the other hand, you might want to make your first impression without a paladin standing over your shoulder. It's up to you.
May as well do it now.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Outstanding.
Nick is going back to his detective agency.
Oh I'm late for muster one more time. Captain Kells is gonna have me do 100 push-ups.
You watch my back, I'll watch yours.
Well, see you later, Nick. There will be a later. I will get those holotapes for you. But first, let's explore this wonderful piece of engineering. Zeppelins!
There. Try it now.
Nothing. I was supposed to report 10 minutes ago. If you can't fix it...
I can fix it. You're the one who decided to kick your way through a mirelurk. Got it.
There it is. Thanks, brother. I owe you.
Okay. Nice bit of, background there. I did install a mod, as you may have noticed, on the vertibirds. They pack a bit more of a punch now because they fire explosive rounds, as well as being a lot more durable, because, let's face it, normally they're about as flimsy as a paper airplane flying through a thunderstorm. They do not last anywhere near as well as they should. Even modern-day military helicopters, they can take the small arms fire without an issue. Only a very lucky shot, or dedicated anti-air from some sort of explosive round is going to be able to make a dent in them. Laser weaponry, maybe. It has to depend on where it shoots, but it does not have bullet travel time.
The recruit I heard about. Not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
What were you expecting?
The last batch of recruits we took on were wastelanders. Dirty, beaten up, looking for a handout. They were desperate and looking for an easy out. You look like you're here for a reason. Anyway, since you came down here to meet me, we may as well get it over with. My name's Ingram, and this lovely little grease pit is where you'll usually find me. If your power armor's too tight in the crotch, the Prydwen's about to crash into the ground, or a robot's gone haywire, you come see me.
Luckily for you, I just upgraded my capability in knowing how to deal with power armor. But let's be charming, shall we?
You should add teaching charm school lessons to the list.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but when you're as busy as I am, there isn't much time for bowing and curtsying. There isn't a day that goes by on this tub without 5 or 6 things breaking down. And since I'm stuck in this rig, I'm not quite as spry as I used to be. The work tends to pile up.
Okay, apparently she's missing her legs. But you are getting around well. The power armor, now that's a benefit of technology that I look forward to seeing in the future in real life.
Actually, you seem to be getting around really well.
I suppose it's better than the alternative.
Indeed it is.
Anyway, I'm sure you're here to get your hands on some power armor. There's a pretty decent T-60 suit sitting in Bay 3 that's all yours. The left leg actuator's a bit sticky, but it'll keep the creeps off of you. Oh, and if you need any work done on it, feel free to use the workshops around here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to work.
Bay 3, Bay 3. Which one's Bay 3? This is Bay 2, Bay 1. So, here we are, Bay 3.
The Commonwealth's a dangerous place. Make sure you gear up before you head out.
Now, I don't think I have any materials to upgrade it. Even with... yeah, I just don't have any materials on me at the moment. But this is an upgrade compared to my last suit of power armor. So we'll be taking that out into the field later.
Maxon might appear compassionate, but I can assure you, the Institute will face his wrath.
Depends on who he's compassionate to. Because if it's only to a limited certain amount of people, that's not really compassion. Well, no. I may want to reconsider my words. It is compassionate, but it is very narrow compassion.
Step forward, Knight. Even though they've locked me in this blasted cage, I promise that I won't bite.
Yeah, you don't look like you like being in there.
Looks uncomfortable in there.
It's not that bad. Now, this is the stowage depot, and I, as you probably already guessed, am the ship's quartermaster, Proctor Tegan. The powers that be have me locked in here, so I can keep an eye on the Brotherhood's valuables. If you need to stock up on supplies before you head out on a mission, this is the place to buy them.
Right. Normally militaries, well, modern day militaries, you are not required to pay for your own equipment. They provide you with it as long as you return it to the inventory later. But let's ask about this setup.
Wait, buy them? Since when does the military sell equipment to its own soldiers?
Since someone dropped a whole bunch of bombs and blew up every single factory that manufactured weapons and ammunition. Keeping the Brotherhood supplied takes caps, and everyone contributes to the cause. The good news is by having a constant flow of caps, I'm able to buy whatever you bring me. Yeah, I'm mostly interested in weapons, but I'll take anything useful. Of course, if you're just looking to make a few caps on the side, I might have some extra work for you to do.
I like extra work. So, what does it involve, though? And his statement about no factories to build weapons and ammo, that's also very... that is logical. That said, I wouldn't mind making my own factory. I mean, we've got the equipment.
I really don't have time for this.
No, you don't.
What sort of extra work are we talking about?
Oh, no. It's nothing like you're thinking. It just involves a little bit of heavy lifting and interacting with the local farms. And since I'm stuck up here manning this one-man zoo, I need someone to do the legwork for me. After you're done with the meet and greet, we can discuss the details. In the meantime, if you ever need anything else, a gun, a mod, even ammo, you just let me know.
I'll try and provide my own, thank you. So, there's the shop for the Brotherhood. I'll take a peek at it when I actually have stuff to sell. I had to expend quite a few caps building up my little emporium.
That should hold.
Thank you, sister.
You know, we wouldn't have to worry about them getting out if they weren't on the ship.
Your concerns are noted, Scribe. Give Proctor Ingram my thanks for letting me borrow
If you run into any sense, shoot to kill. We don't take prisoners.
Technology's in good hands with the Brotherhood. I know.
Yeah.
Knight.
Good thing I dismissed Nick before we got up to this deck. Though he may have made an impression while he left. I hope I don't have to deal with any issues on the way out. Senior Scribe Naraya.
Feel free to have a look at the specimens, but please don't touch anything. I refuse to be held responsible if you're injured.
It's quite the collection. Reminds me of XCOM a bit.
Quite a collection you've got here.
Well, thank you. Most people don't appreciate the important work that I'm trying to do here. I'm on the cusp of discovering how these creatures' bodies have adapted to the radiation that's infiltrated their habitats. If I can crack the code, I can equip our troops with a protective compound far superior to Rad-X.
You have my attention. I'm going into the glowing sea. Even with power armor. Something like that is going to be amazing.
That's amazing.
Well, it's only a theory so far. You see, the ionizing radiation left behind by the Great War kills because it damages most living things on a cellular level. However, after several generations, these creatures' bodies have adapted by altering their genetic makeup to prevent cellular disruption. I believe I've discovered how I can replicate that genetic restructuring rapidly. Instead of decades, I can do it in moments. For a short period of time, anyway.
Well, sign me up. I need it. Because, ethics and danger aside, I don't intend to become a crispy critter by walking into a highly irradiated glow zone.
I'm sold. If you're looking for someone to help, you can sign me up.
I appreciate the offer, but unfortunately, I've hit a stumbling block. The specimens I've already captured can only produce so much blood and genetic material. If I try and harvest too much, they'll die. What I need are more samples of blood from the creatures roaming the Commonwealth.
Getting blood? Well, I can do that.
Will I get some of that new compound you're developing?
If I make a breakthrough, you'll be the first person I give it to. After I've tested it on myself, of course. I've modified your Pip-Boy to scan the corpse of any freshly killed creature that has the proper type of blood in its body. All you have to do is pick up any viable sample and bring it back to me. Hey, I really appreciate you doing this for me. It's nice to know I'm not the only person in the Brotherhood with an open mind.
Hey, you help me, I help you. It all works out. Especially considering where I'm going.
Welcome aboard, brother.
Okay.
Never forget, you are the eyes and the ears of the Brotherhood. If you
Is there more people to talk to back here?
It is your duty to report it.
There was the scribe Naraya, but anyone else?
The ends justify the means when it comes to freeing the Commonwealth.
Okay, very
I'd
worrying.
gladly lay down my life if it keeps humanity from repeating the apocalypse.
And I can understand them
Nothing to report right now, Knight.
taking
I
apart
don't know about Scribe Naraya.
mechanical synths to understand how to destroy them better.
I
After all, that's what we do in
The
XCOM.
pilot even let me fire the minigun a few times. That was
Have you
the
ever
best
fired a
day
minigun? Chews through ferrules like paper.
Only after the upgrades I gave them. Yeah, it's a bit
Said she
disappointing.
needed this suit tested yesterday.
Yeah, I get it. Just, what if I miss?
Don't.
Okay, sure. Firing. Everything holding together?
Trust me, you'd know.
Good.
Prydwen is
firing.
a magnificent ship, and we're lucky.
All right. Everything looks nominal. And you didn't scuttle the ship. Thanks, Initiate.
Sure. Anytime.
Was that a smart thing to do? I should have been backing up, but even I knew that there was no way I would have escaped the flaming fireball if this was filled with hydrogen. I hope, beyond hope, that these tanks are filled with helium. You just fired a fiery laser rifle next to potentially dangerous hydrogen gas. I know you're trying to save the Commonwealth from destruction by keeping technology out of the hands of those untrained. But you guys aren't doing any better! Bloody hell! Oh my.
Don't tell Lincoln, okay? Food's not allowed near the instrumentation.
Ugh. My doubts about the Brotherhood have just risen exponentially. Oh. Oh. I am hoping. I am so hoping that was hydrogen gas. That is not hydrogen gas. Helium. Please let it be helium. If it's helium and you knew it was helium, then my faith has been restored and I was worrying about nothing. But that is so not good. Yeah, I'm leaving that stuff there. I don't need it. I know it's a fusion core, but I have enough to spare at the moment.
You haven't lived until you tip the ramen in a burner. Now that's a challenge.
That's what you do for fun around here? Right.
Ah, good. You're finally here. Just set the books down anywhere. I'll get to them as soon as I can.
I think you've mistaken me for someone. Oh, well, close enough.
I think you're confusing me with someone else.
Perhaps I need to rummage through the supply bins for a new pair of glasses. Since it's obvious that you aren't who I was expecting, would you mind telling me why you're here?
I don't know how to mistake me for someone else. I'm wearing a very bright blue and I'm wearing a gas mask. But yes, I am meeting the crew.
Maxon wanted me to meet the crew, so you were next on my list.
Ah, yes. You must be the new recruit described in Paladin Dance's report. Under normal circumstances, I'd provide you with a proper orientation of my department. However, I'm woefully behind setting up research patrols and getting bombarded with requests for technical documentation. Unfortunately, I'm lacking the personnel needed to get the job done.
Well, I could help, but let's ask specifically what you're looking for.
What type of technical documentation are you looking for?
The Brotherhood is primarily interested in collecting information that might assist us with our current mission. Medical records, science journals, weapons schematics. If it contains any type of useful data, we need to get our hands on it.
Yeah, I could help with that. I prefer to do a copy of them before I give it to you. I might have some use for it later, too.
Maybe I can lend you a hand.
That would be splendid. As you patrol the Commonwealth, Keep your eyes open for blueprints, memos, manuals, books, charts. Anything containing useful technical data. I'm authorized to pay you for each bundle of documents that you recover. And if you wish to be assigned to a research patrol, I have plenty of them waiting to be filled. In any event, it was a pleasure to meet you, Knight.
Oh. A bit of a way to make some extra caps. How nice. Quaylen to be deleted?
Damn it, Scribe. I told you I didn't want the corners bent. The issues were to be in mint condition.
I'm sorry, Proctor, but this is the only limited edition annual we've recovered. Even before the bombs fell, this was the rarest issue. The one where Grognak dies and
Yes, Scribe. I've read the 2076 Underlane price guide from cover to cover, so I'm well aware of its past value. The fault for this travesty rests squarely on your shoulders, because you chose to ignore the important lesson I taught you. Which is?
always bag and board. I'm sorry, sir. You're absolutely right. And I promise it will never... sir? What's that red blinking light on your terminal?
What? Oh, damn it all! I left it in record mode. Just let me... Finish your introductions by all means. But I do hope you'll consider assisting me when you're done.
Quinlan, you giant comic book nerd. Psst, I'm also a giant comic book nerd. You're in good company.
Glad you finally stopped by, soldier. Are you ready for your medical exam?
Yes, but let's ask about it first.
What kind of medical exam? I feel fine.
There's nothing to be alarmed
tiny
about.
dose of radiation.
I just have a few simple questions about your medical history. It's my responsibility to make sure that you don't bring anything up here that could pose a threat to the crew. I'm going to ask you a series of medical-related questions, and I'd like you to answer me to the best of your ability. First question. As a child, were you ever exposed to radiation for an extended period of time?
Not at all. Vault Tech didn't detect anything. You might want to check your records. Yeah, this was before the war. So, might want to break that to him.
There wasn't that much radiation around before the bombs fell.
Before the bombs? What? Let me check my notes. You were a vault dweller? You're probably healthier than anyone else aboard. Anyway, sorry I missed that in your records. Just going down the list of questions. I'm sure you understand. Okay, second question. Have you ever had or come in contact with a person confirmed to be carrying a communicable disease?
Since I'm staying out of romance, nope, not at all.
Never been seriously sick in my life.
Good, good. Third question. And please, answer honestly. Have you ever had sexual relations with any species considered non-human?
Third answer, same as the second, but this happens often?
That happens often enough for you to have a question.
Why do you even have to ask?
You'd be surprised how many
bigger
wastelanders
question.
answer yes to that question. Fortunately, the Brotherhood finds that type of behavior absolutely distasteful. Since you haven't spent too much time in the wasteland, I'll assume your answer is no. Last question. Would you have any problems pulling the trigger on an enemy of the Brotherhood, whether they're human, formerly human, or machine?
That is a big morals question. And it depends on what the Brotherhood is doing, asking me pointing a gun at them.
That's more of a morals question, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I feel that the mental state of the crew is just as important as the physical. Anyone that hesitates firing in combat due to misguided moral standards certainly isn't Brotherhood material. So what about you? Would you have a problem with it?
Oh, I don't have hesitations about pulling the trigger. It's who I'm pulling the trigger at is the issue. And I'm already getting big warning flags with this. But only to defend myself.
If my life's in danger, I'll do whatever it takes to defend myself.
That's an acceptable answer. And the most common. Excellent. I think I've got all the information I need. I see no reason to prevent you from beginning your duties immediately. If you ever need medical assistance, you let me know.
Yeah, I've got a tiny dose of radiation, but not enough that I'd have to ask for a cure.
Taking on a Deathclaw without backup is a great way to get yourself killed.
Or great higher ground. Okay, I just leveled up.
Myself. It's a cleaner.
Let's get that done, because I want so badly to get this. More damage, more damage. So, I have to deal with Maxon next. It sounds like it's going to be a very entertaining and eventful mission.
Cade won't clear me for duty yet. I think he's giving me orders.
Alright. We'll be seeing what Maxon wants me to do next episode. For now, I'm going to put an end to things here. I hope I have entertained you. Farewell.